All right, if you're getting ready for your CDL test or you're already a pro behind the wheel, this is for you. We're going to break down the distracted driving rules you absolutely have to know. I mean, know them cold. Because getting this stuff wrong, well, it can cost you a lot more than just a fine. It can cost you your entire career. So let's dive right in.
I want to start with just one number, 448,000. That is how many people are injured every single year in a crash where a driver was distracted. I mean, that's just a staggering figure, right? And it's the whole reason these rules even exist.
And that right there, that's why this is such a huge part of your CDL exam. See, this isn't just about memorizing some rules for a test. It's about really understanding what's at stake. For your career, yeah, but also for everybody else out there on the road with you. So let's make sure you're absolutely ready to pass.
To pass this part of the test and to be a safe driver, you have to get your head around one core concept. It's something every professional driver has to internalize, and we call it the football field problem.
You know, it all boils down to this one tiny number from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, 4.6 seconds. That's the average time your eyes leave the road when you glance at a text. 4.6 seconds. It sounds like nothing, right? But that single fact is the foundation for pretty much every federal rule we're about to cover.
So let's put that into perspective. What does 4.6 seconds of not looking at the road actually look like? Well, when you're cruising at 55 miles an hour, in just 4.6 seconds, you've traveled the same distance as an entire football field. Yup, from one end zone all the way to the other. That's how far your rig travels in just those few seconds. And you're doing it completely blind. Just think about what can happen in that kind of distance. A car slamming on its brakes, someone merging into your lane, all while your eyes are somewhere else. And if you think that's just a scary thought, well, the data is even scarier. Research shows that a commercial driver who's texting is over 23 times more likely to be in a crash, a near crash, or just drift out of their lane. Not 2 times, not 3 times, 23 times. That's a gamble no professional can ever afford to take.
Okay, so now that we get just how serious this is, let's get into the nitty-gritty. For your test, you've got to know exactly what counts as a violation. Think of this next part as the answer key your examiner is going to be looking for.
First thing to get straight, when the law says texting, it means way more than just sending a quick message. The legal definition is super broad. It covers manually entering or reading any kind of text. That means emails, instant messages, even just looking up a web page.
And while the law specifically calls out texting, you need to understand that any distraction falls into one of 3 buckets. There's visual, taking your eyes off the road. There's manual, taking your hands off the wheel. And then there's cognitive. That's taking your mind off of driving. A true professional avoids all 3.
And hey, listen up, because this is a big one. This is a point that trips a lot of people up. Just because a device is hands-free does not mean it's risk-free. Even if you're legally allowed to use it, getting into a deep or stressful conversation is still a major cognitive distraction. It pulls your focus right off the road when you need it the most.
Now, let's talk about the consequences. Because if you fail this test out on the road, it comes with a really steep price tag. So what actually happens when you get caught?
These penalties are no joke, and they hit fast. For you, the driver, a single violation can mean a fine of up to $2,750. And get this, the responsibility is shared. Your company can be fined up to $11,000 for letting it happen.
But honestly, the fines, they're not even the worst part. The most severe penalty hits you where it really hurts, your ability to do your job. Let's look at how fast these violations can literally take you right off the road.
Okay, so here's how it breaks down. Your first offense, you get hit with that big fine. But a second offense, within 3 years, that's a mandatory 60-day disqualification. 2 whole months parked, not earning. A third time, we're talking 120 days. These aren't warnings, you guys. These are career stoppers.
So, we've covered the risks, the rules, the penalties, all the scary stuff. Now for the most important part of this whole review, your study guide for the real world. This is your game plan for staying safe, staying compliant, and, yeah, staying employed.
You know, the key to acing this test on the road is all about preparation. It's so simple. Before you even turn the key, just make a habit of this. Get rid of the distractions. Turn your phone off or put it on silent. If you have to use it, make sure it's hands-free and you can reach it without fumbling around. And for sure, program your GPS and your music before you start your trip.
Now, your examiner will definitely expect you to know the one single exception to the rule. You are allowed to use your device if you absolutely have to
in order to communicate with law enforcement or other emergency services. But that's a very narrow exception, for true emergencies only.
And that pretty much wraps up our review. But you know, the final, most important test question, it's not in any manual. It's not for some examiner. It's for you. The very next time you get in your truck, what's the one distraction you're going to eliminate before you even turn that key? Your career is riding on your answer.